Welcome or welcome back to Penny's 2 Cents. It's your girl Penny, and this is my awesome dad,
George.
Guys, today we're doing Marie Callender's The Beef Pot Pie. You guys said the beef pot pie is very, very good. They look absolutely amazing. Okay, we got 2 of them here. We're letting them cool down. But they're charging the same for the beef as they are the chicken pot pies. We really like the chicken pot pie, so we wanted to try Marie Callender's beef pot pie. They're still charging $3.27 for these here in Ohio, and this is the larger sized one. Okay, they do have some smaller sized ones. The larger size is for Dad. Okay, I could probably do the smaller sized one, but anyway, we're letting them cool down. Okay, we're dragging our feet a little bit. I've let them cool down some, but we're dragging our feet a little bit. But I wanted to take care of a couple things here first. Dad received a very nice blanket in our P.O. box, so Dad wanted to say,
Oh, thank you very much, Jeffrey and Jerry.
Jerry and Jeffrey, yep.
And thank you very much for this, the toe blanket.
Yeah, it's very nice. Dad was saying it was nice and fuzzy and
nice and wool.
Yeah, it's really, really
warm.
Nice. So thank you so much, Jerry and Jeffrey. I wanted Dad to put his 2 cents in on that. He really loves it. He was snuggling with it right before we did doing this review. Okay, and I got a few questions I'm going to answer from our subscribers, our Penny Pinchers crew, after or in between here. But let's let Dad get started. I think it's cooled down enough. I am going to throw his whole pot pie right on in his bowl. That's what we did last time, and it's still steaming. Wow. It's still pretty darn hot. Okay, I gotta bring this over here. It's still pretty darn hot. We're gonna have to wait a minute.
Okay.
Okay. Ooh. I'm gonna give it a few stirs here. I'm getting it everywhere. Yeah. Woo, it's still pretty darn hot. We're gonna wait a minute, okay? Let's just wait a few more minutes, because you could just see the steam coming off. I don't want you to get burnt, Dad. Let's take care of some questions you guys have sent us. I asked a few videos back for you guys to send us some questions, and I would shout you out and answer some questions. So one of them, and for the life of me, I can't remember who asked this. I know Connie said something the other day, and I don't know if I'm thinking somebody else asked me. I think somebody else did ask me. Somebody asked me, when did you start your channel? Okay, I posted my first video, my first video, October 24th, 2022. Now, I made up the channel name and everything the day before that, so October 23rd. It depends on how technical you want to be. But I did post my very first video, October 24th, 2022. Okay, so we're coming up on our 3rd year. Okay, I thought that was a very good question, and I thought a lot of people would be interested by that. I would say you can start, Dad, but yeah, it's not too bad. So go ahead and you can get started. Just be very aware that I felt that it didn't feel too crazy. We wanted to see if we like the beef just as much as the chicken. Ooh, be careful. I noticed that the beef gravy is a little thinner. Okay, I don't know if you saw that. It's a little bit thinner. That might be a good thing. We'll see. The beef is in cubes. Okay. Okay, mine's pretty warm. If it's too hot, Dad, you just wait a minute, okay? Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. We don't have to hurry. I'm going to answer another question, because mine's pretty darn hot. I opened Dad's up and kind of chopped his up. It might not be as hot as mine. Mr. TV Man, I'll put his question here somewhere, probably right in front of me, because that's the best area to put it. Mr. TV Man wanted to know, what was that black arm that was attached to the counter by our stove? I've taken it down, but it was right here behind us. You could always see it in the video. I've taken it down because I wanted to show it to you. Let me move my drink so I don't knock the drink over. It's a very good question, Mr. TV man. It's got a clamp down here at the bottom. You hook it to a counter, okay? You hook this to the counter.
I know what it is myself.
Yeah, you hook it to the counter wherever you want. It's bendable, okay? Retractable gooseneck, okay? And you put your phone in here or your camera. And you can put it over top of the food and such to get good pictures or videos. This is my camera person, okay? This is my camera person. It wasn't super expensive, maybe $20-ish something on Amazon. This one is a very sturdy one, okay? It could be bent a million times. It doesn't feel like it's losing, because you see me, I'm using some muscle on there. It's got a really good wide grip for a pretty decent sized phone. My whole hand can go in here, okay? And this will widen up quite a bit too. I think I could actually hook it to our table here. Okay, it just unscrews, this widens up. You clamp it down on the counter and you just adjust it. So the TV man wanted to know what that was. That is what it is. This is my cameraman, okay? This is my cameraman. It's a lifesaver, but it's also a pain too. You got to put it on, get your phone in there, then you got to angle it, to get the right angle. But anyway, it does help if you're trying to do a video or something on your own, or just take pictures or whatever on your own. It does work out great for that. So anyway, that's what that is. Amazon. If you're looking for something like that, you see that hanging on my counter back there, that's what that is. How's this tasting so far, Dad?
It was good. This is more pepper.
You want some more pepper?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Put some more pepper in there for Dad. Let's give it a little stir so we don't have a whole big bite of pepper. One thing about this, guys, I'm honest with you, right? I like the flavor of this. Okay, what are we going for?
Drink.
Okay, that's fine. The beef is in cubes, right? Yeah, I know it's made by. It's a little.
Done.
It's a little chewier than the chicken, but it's beef, right? So I kind of expect that. The crust is pretty darn good.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out if I like this one. I see celery in here. I see carrots in here. What else do I see?
Carrots done.
Yep, I see carrots. What else do I see in here? I kind of wish it had a little more vegetables in it. Just a little more. The beef, like I said, is a little chewier. But, like I said, I was trying to figure out if I like this more than the chicken pot pie.
I like it as much as a pot pie.
Oh, it has potatoes in here, too. Yeah, I think I like it just as much as the chicken pot pie. It would just depend if I'm craving chicken or the beef,
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, the beef does have a little more chew to it, but not too bad. But the crust is just as good as the chicken ones, guys. If you've never had the beef one, I recommend it. It's just that if you want beef or chicken, but...
The beef is the cube is a little bigger.
Mm-hmm. A little bigger pieces. Pretty good.
It takes a long time to let go of stuff.
Okay, let's turn this around. We need to turn this around. Dad. Dad. Can I turn this around?
Okay. I thought you was doing that.
I couldn't. You were squeezing it.
Okay.
Okay, now it's turned. If you don't turn it back around.
Okay.
That's that. I don't know what I was saying. I think it's pretty darn good. I really do. $3.27 per pot pie per meal. I've been told you could do them in the microwave. They turn out just the same. Okay, I do ours in the oven. I just prefer it that way. They take a little longer in the oven. Take about an hour. In the microwave, they take about 8.5 to 10 minutes. So, anyway, you can do these in the microwave. I just don't. I haven't tried it, and I prefer to do my stuff in the oven. And give Dad a helping hand here. He's doing okay. I have one more question I wanted to answer. Like I said, guys, send in your questions. Some of these videos when Dad's still eating and I'm not eating, I have something to talk about, right? And you guys like learning about us, I would say. So anyway, Louise Smith, I want to thank her so much. She messages me every day. We always have a good little chat, and you know. Louise came up with a very good question. She wanted to know what I wanted to be when I was growing up. And guys, when I was growing up, I've always loved animals. Any kind of animals. I love dogs, cats. Our neighbor was a kindergarten, like a special needs kindergarten teacher. And she had bunnies. I always went over and fed her bunnies carrots and celery and grass and clovers and stuff. I love bunnies. Some of my friends had pet rats, domesticated rats. I've had a mouse before. I've also had a hamster before. I've had fish. I was always an animal lover, period. If a baby bird needed helping or a baby rabbit, we tried to nurse some baby birds and baby rabbits. I was there. I wanted to be all that. So as a kid, I did grow up thinking I wanted to be a veterinarian. I mentioned it numerous times, okay? I was very good in math and science. I took AP math in school. Math came very easy to me. You wouldn't know it now when you tell me to divide something, but I'm getting older and my brain doesn't think as fast as it used to. Plus I lose my math on the camera, I guess. I don't know. I took calculus and everything in high school, okay? I took AP, advanced placement classes of math. And I was very strong in science, very strong in science. Science came easy to me. I took chemistry. I took, earth science and all the science. I didn't take physics. I was going to take physics. I just ran out of credit times at school, okay, or I would have took physics. So I wanted to become a veterinarian. Why didn't I? I wish I had. I really wish I had. There's numerous reasons. Let's talk the very obvious, okay? As I was graduating high school, getting ready to graduate, when you're trying to get college, and it was a little bit different of a time frame. Nowadays, there's the internet has made it a lot easier for these kids to submit essays and submit for grants and stuff like that, right? There's so many things going on in my brain. What all was going down at the time? Why I didn't go to school? Like I said, I graduated in a different time frame. So getting grants and stuff like that from schools was a little harder than it is now. Plus, my parents weren't rich, okay? We were kind of middle of the road. We made a little too much and not enough. And just trying to get some college grants and stuff was just I was having a hard time. Okay? That wasn't just it. Okay? That was part of it. Like I mentioned, my mother also got sick. As I'm getting, my senior year, Mom had her first stroke. And it was kind of a whirlwind of events, okay? It threw me and Dad into the reality of there's a lot going on here and we have to make sure Mom is okay, okay? My plans kind of stopped. As far as me going away to go to school and to do all those things, my plans kind of stopped because the reality of losing my mother and my mother being sick, I hadn't lost her yet, but the reality of it was a possibility, okay? It kind of stopped my forward motion. Maybe I shouldn't have let it do that, but it just did, okay? And like I always say, things always happen for a reason. She had a stroke first. Then she was doing pretty good, was bouncing back from that. She even went back to work. She was off work while she was going through her stroke. She even bounced back pretty good from that. Went back to work. She was working in a restaurant, which I also worked with my mother at that restaurant. And then she was hit with another stroke. Okay. The terms of how everything went down, there was a lot of things happening and I kind of blocked it out. I just know the things that did happen, but the chronological order's kind of messed up for me because it was such a traumatic, a lot of things going on. I'm talking 18, 20, 21, that's my age frame there. It was a lot for my brain to process. I really didn't know how to process it. I wasn't at that age, you think you're grown, but you're not grown. Okay? You're not grown. You think you know everything, but you don't. Okay? Until something like that happens, and then you're like, wow, I'm not the mature adult that I think I am, because I didn't know how to handle it. We found out Mom had she had arteries in her neck that were clogged. Okay, I call it clogged, and I know it's an arterial sclerosis, artery sclerosis. What it is clogged arteries. Okay, with plaque and what do they call that? Cholesterol and plaque buildup in the arteries. She did have a surgery to clear out one side because she was like 80% blocked or something like that.
Yeah.
She kept having little mini strokes. And then they found out it was just, the arteries were just all over the place, okay? The arteries were not good. We found out that she had arteries in her one leg that was clogged as well. They couldn't do anything about the clogging. It was clogged, and the circulation became where she had no circulation to her toes. Okay, and she wasn't diabetic. No diabetes. Okay, I always want to make that very clear. There was no diabetes. It just ran in her side of the family, heart and artery problems. Okay, so it just ran in her side of the family. So anyway, she had to have an amputation, and amputation of that leg, and it's a long story. I will say that she did an amputation from mid shin bone calf area. They decided that wasn't healing up after so long. She had more artery problems higher up in the leg, so then they had to do another amputation of the same leg up right above the knee. This put us we weren't able to care for her at home, okay? So we had to make the decision for our nursing home because it was just too much. The strokes made her not be completely adherent to, coherent, what do you want to call it, coherent. So the strokes it was a lot. So anyway, that held me up. We're talking from the time her first stroke to the time of her passing in 2000. I graduated in 91, okay? Was 8+ years, okay? That whole 8+ years, we were focused on me and Dad both worked our full-time jobs. We worked separate shifts. Dad would go to the nursing home, okay? Then he would go to work, vice versa, whatever. I'd go to work, nursing home, whatever shifts we were on, I can't remember at the time. But anyway, I think Dad was on first and second. I don't know how that goes. But anyway, we rotated, right? And it became a time where I had a hard... Dad went every day. I had a hard time going every day. Like I said, I was still in that mindset of, I don't know how to handle this. This is a lot. Because she had strokes. Half the time she wouldn't know us.
Right.
Sometimes she would. Sometimes she would know you as soon as you walked in the room. Sometimes by the time you left, she wouldn't know who you were. You know, all those kinds of things. And I want to thank Shelly. Shelly helped me a lot through that time frame. She would go with me to the nursing home so I wouldn't have to go alone, you know. And it was a lot. Shelly can say that it was a lot, too. It was. So anyway, that held back my being a veterinarian. I am so sorry I made that a big story, but that's what it was. That's what happened. Okay, that's how it happened. A lot of people say, well, I'm sure a lot of people will say, why didn't you go on to be a veterinarian, you know, after your mom passed? Okay.
She had other interest beyond that.
Well, yeah.
And beyond
I
that,
had already started working at the print shop. And I did printing. I'd already started working at the print shop. I had a full-time job. I was making pretty good money for myself, okay? It seemed like a very steady job for our area. So I continued on working at the print shop. I was making pretty good money. And by the time I got to that age in 2000, what would I have been? 20, I can't think right now. Higher in my 20s, okay? I was like, wow, how can I pick up? You know, a veterinarian, you got to go 4 years college. Then you got to go 4 years veterinarian school. You're talking 8 years. Okay? So if I'm in my late 20s, say early 30s, I would have been 38. Maybe closer to 40 by the time I graduated from veterinarian school. Okay, so it became a thing where it just didn't seem feasible. So I stayed in printing for 30 years, digital printing. Dad also did. Somebody asked the question, I can't remember, but I got into printing because Dad was in printing. Dad did digital printing. Yeah. But let's talk about this pot pie really quick, Dad. Would you want me to get this again?
I would very much. The pie, the beef, the carrots, it's all done. And they chewed up very well. I would very much good Popeye again.
I just wish I had a little more vegetables. And I have sweet potatoes, a couple bites of potatoes. I've had a couple bites of carrots. The carrots are the coined carrots. They're not the diced carrots, which I like. And like Dad said, they're cooked very well. I love the buttery crust.
If anything, you could use more gravy.
I think it has a lot of gravy. So I think maybe when I chop it up, it soaks into the crust. Yeah. So I think mine here, and when I opened yours up, it did have a lot of gravy. I think when we chop it up, it kind of soaks into the crust. The beef's got a little chew to it.
Pepper. I love pepper, and I ate the extra pepper. But I would 90%,
90 out of 100?
90 out of 100.
That says 90 out of 100, guys.
90 out of 10. 9 9 out of 10.
Okay, 9 out of 10. Cool. It has plenty of beef in it. I wish it had just a little more vegetables. That's just me nitpicking. I think the gravy's great. I think the consistency of the gravy's great. The consistency of the gravy's a little thinner than the chicken gravy, which I think it kind of works here with this. It gives you more like a pot roast type thing going on. I love the crust. I think Dad's right with the score. I think it's a 9 out of 10. I really do. I think it's a good little dinner or lunch, quick. You know, if you wanted to do it in a microwave.
do.
$3.27 a piece? I mean, that's not
I
bad.
would be very much favor of doing it again.
Mm-hmm. Really good.
And it would be the same thing.
It's made by the same company.
Same roast beef.
Mm-hmm.
Roast beef and mashed potatoes and
Or potatoes.
potatoes and gravy,
Mm-hmm. It's really good.
sauce.
Really good. It's not too salty either. You saw Daddy put a little more black pepper. For me, the seasoning's perfect. It tastes like beef. You know what I mean? It tastes like beef. It's not too salty, and the crust has got that buttery, flaky thing going on. It kind of reminds you of like a homemade crust.
It was very good. It was very good.
Pretty darn good.
I like it very much.
I don't know. Okay, let me get a drink here.
And I like my blanket, Jerry and Jeffrey.
Jerry and Jeffrey, yeah. Also, I wanted to, I should have said this a little earlier. I just got a little sidetracked. But we got a super thanks donation from Peter. I hope Peter hears this. Peter sent us a super thanks donation. We want to thank him for that. Thank you so much, Peter. We will use that towards our future food reviews, as always. Thank you so much. And guys, just like I said, send us in any questions you want to send us in. It's good to have like a little filler between Dad eating, his meal and stuff. Have me, and you guys learn more about us, okay? And I hope that
She helps me finish my meal up.
Yep.
And she does good. It works so good for us.
That was really good. Thanks for recommending this beef pot pie, guys. I'm glad I tried it now.
I like it too. I very much.
I think they have a turkey one too. I'll have to look and see. But the beef one's really good. I guess I can keep the chicken and the beef ones in the freezer for times that we just want to throw something in the oven or microwave.
And I'll tell you what, it's a good meal. It's a good meal.
If I find the turkey ones that are like this size, I might try them in the microwave just to see how they turn out, so I can recommend you guys. Maybe next time I'll bake one in the oven, and I'll bake one in the microwave, or cook one in the microwave. And I can kind of like show you the comparison side by side. That way, you know if they're good out of the microwave as well. So anyway, that's it. Are you ready to let these guys go today? Yeah. Okay, guys. We hope you all have a great lunch, a great dinner, or a great late night snack. But most of all, guys, we hope you have a great day.
A great day and a better tomorrow. And God bless you all.
Yes, guys. God bless. Come back tomorrow. See what we're eating. See what we're reviewing. See if we like it or not. Until tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.